to our vigilance for coming this evening. Thank you all for listening patiently and for all the great questions. I think the next order of business, if I'm not mistaken, is election results. Can I hand it over to you, Ron?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have tallied the votes. Before I announce the results, I want to thank Lisa Sweet and Val Johnson for checking everybody in. We had a total, I believe this is probably a record for us, of 322 votes cast. The results are as follows. Robert Siegel, 74 votes. Jess Dynick, 245 votes. Brent Magellan, 74 votes. Patrick Bergen, 251 votes.
Thank you, Ron. Do we have any further business on election?
No, those are the results.
Thank you. Congratulations to Commissioner Dynick. Thank you to those who ran and who were willing to come forward and speak. I hope you will continue to participate in this process. All right, we're going to move straight to item 3 on the agenda, which is public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to share their opinions. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers are asked to state their name and address. Please direct all public comments to the board. We're aware that tensions are running a bit high. Please remember, we are all neighbors on this wonderful lake, and we are here to protect this lake, which we all share. Ron?
Yeah, one more thing. So normal board meetings, public comments are usually the only time that public's allowed to speak. Because this is an annual meeting, it's technically your guys' meeting. So you don't necessarily have to speak at this time. You can wait till the topic, and then the chairman can call on you during that specific topic. So you're certainly welcome to speak at public comment, but if you have comments about a specific item on the agenda, you can just wait till that item's called for discussion. So if there's any public comment, we just have people either raise their hand and then stand up and state their name and address.
Wasn't Beulah responsible voters on the agenda originally too?
Yes, and you may take that slot if
Okay.
you'd like,
That'd be great.
whatever you'd like.
Well, that's
We're not quite
after,
ready
that's
for that.
after
After
public
this, we're not
comments.
too
Oh, it's after
Yeah.
public?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate your input.
You're down a ways yet.
Do we have anyone for public comment? All right, we'll close public comment then.
All right, he was our Mr. You're already up here. Would you be willing to come back up with your comments?
It was
please?
okay with the guy in a hat.
Actually, you get to go first.
No.
He was
already up here.
Go ahead,
Go ahead, go ahead. I'm more than
No,
You're on your way, bud.
You're up, sir, please. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me out the microphone, hopefully? My name is Fabian Latoka. My wife, Jennifer, and I have lived at, we've been on Lake Beulah for 26 years. We currently live at 1747 and 1751 Lake Road. As I've mentioned in previous meetings, we fish, we paddleboard, we kayak, we water ski, and we surf. Our home is situated on the peninsula of Middle Lake, so it is the narrowest point of the isthmus there. We receive impact from all boats traveling through the middle of the lake. With that said, we do have riprap in front of our house, so we don't see waves breaking over into the lawn. During my entire time living on Lake Beulah, I have never seen so much division on an issue. You actually have lifelong friends who have gotten into heated arguments, almost fistfights, over this issue. One of our neighbors was even approached while she was golfing. She does not own a wake boat. By the end of the round of golf, she was upset by the forceful way the person was trying to make his point. I'm sure the board members of the LBMD will be happy to hear I am not here to repeat the same rhetoric that's been going on for the last 11 months. I am here tonight to speak on behalf of Beulah Responsible Boaters. Beulah Responsible Boaters is dedicated to preserving the rights of all boaters while promoting safe, responsible, and informed boating practices. We believe in a balanced approach to lake management that ensures environmental sustainability, community enjoyment, and education of all boaters. Our mission is to advocate for evidence-based assessments before any regulatory decisions are made, while fostering a dialogue, collaboration, and educational initiatives to safeguard our shared waterway for future generations. Our objectives are based on fact-based decision-making, taking time to look critically at the methods of the studies, including understanding both its strengths and weaknesses. Developing parameters to determine if there is a correlation with the results of those findings to see if there's an actual cause and effect. Working with WWC, local and state boards to help develop guidelines that allow all parties to enjoy the resources of our lake as outlined in the State of Wisconsin Trust Doctrine. Second part of our objectives are the education of both riparian owners as well as visitors coming on the lake for the day. As the gentleman discussed, one of the issues is the accessibility to wake boats here on our lake. In other cases, people have brought up the fact that, well, if we allow these boats to come on our lake, they're going to bring invasive species. The corollary will be true. You take our boats off our lake to other lakes and bring them back, there's potential for invasive species. There are devices that are not perfect called Fake a Lake that people can cleanse or at least partially cleanse their ballast tanks and try to disinfect them. And as we have discussed before, something as simple as a sign with a map, which I think the Lake Beulah Management Board has already looked at, outlining the protected areas. So people coming on the lake have an understanding of the deeper portions of the lake. I understand that that's something that the management district has looked at as well. Beulah Responsible Boaters has also developed a placard which can be distributed at the parking lot for boaters coming on the lake. Again, giving them sensible guidelines of what they should and shouldn't be doing, delineating those areas of the lake. BRB has also contacted East Troy Rescue to work at co-developing a program for Boater Safety Week next year. Again, stewardship, embracing that there will be people coming on the lake or people on the lake that would benefit from learning more. We've been in contact with Wisconsin DNR as well as Department of Fisheries. Their next fish study is scheduled for 2026. Going forward, there is so much opportunity for collaboration with different groups. One of those would be contacting the Department of Fisheries biologist to determine if improvements can be made on the lake for bedding areas. I know personally from talking to one of the DNR guys up by Madison, they have a whole program for habitat development on trout streams, and it works extremely effectively. You'll take a little ripple area or a small falls area, set it up so that the trout have a pond where they can gain more nutrients. Marking the sensitive areas, which Lake Beulah Management District has done. Wash station like the CD3 unit that's on Lake Geneva. Again, if we get the community to embrace something like this, a wash station seems, it's $45,000 to $70,000, but with the number of homes and the amount of people on our lake that really care about it, it would make way more sense. And I think you would get most people on the lake to throw in $200 or $300 towards a real wash station instead of the brushes we have presently. So I think the entire community has an opportunity to engage in some different ideas, make some productive changes instead of the back and forth rhetoric that we've all been experiencing. I've been on the other side of it for the last 11 months. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Can we go to Second Lake Beulah, please?
Sorry, nope. I'll try to be quick to keep the meeting moving. First, I want to thank you, the riparian owners, for coming out and voting tonight. And I want to thank our grassroots initiative for going door to door and talking to homeowners as to why this is such an important topic. It certainly brought out the crowds, and you should be thanked for bringing good, strong candidates to the board of the management district. I want to thank the management district for putting PLB on the agenda. It's a testament of our decades of our relationship of working together to do the right thing for the lake. We've done fish stocking together for decades, and this is providing an opportunity for showing that we can truly work together to solve the problems on the lake. The town board chair tonight told me that he will be coming to our meeting this fall, and he's going to spend 10 minutes speaking. I hope that this is an opening of us beginning to work together to solve these problems. I'm hoping that I will be able to return to their agenda to talk on behalf of Protect Lake Beulah or my replacement, who will be coming in September. So, our organization is not a social club. We are a registered organization in the state of Wisconsin. We are representing the riparian owners on this lake. We have real bylaws, we have real missions, we set objectives yearly, and we live to those. And it is our #1 mission to protect Lake Beulah. And everything that we do, the studies that we're doing, it's to do just that. We are not looking to create division at all. We're looking to do the right thing for Lake Beulah, and we will continue to do that. So I also want to thank the management district, who they have a similar mission to do the right thing to protect the lake. They are using law and other measures where other measures have failed. Putting a boat marina in the middle of a sensitive area is the wrong thing to do for Lake Beulah. And they are taking that directly on, and I commend them for that, and I support them. We talk about the rhetoric that we're wasting taxpayers' dollars. No, we're looking at doing the right thing for Lake Beulah. Our upcoming fall membership meeting is slated for September 13th. I hope you come out. It's going to be at the Yacht Club from 9 to 11. And one of the other key things that is a big risk to our lake is the quagga mussel, which is on Lake Geneva, just a couple of miles down the road. And we have an expert coming to talk about what that really means to Lake Beulah and what we can do to best protect our lake to keep this critter from getting in. So also, we heard a lot about the sensitive areas tonight. We will continue to work to protect those sensitive areas. And when we talk about any sort of compromise related to wake surfing, we need to make sure that we're setting distances far enough that we are truly protecting those areas. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you, the management district, and thank you, the riparian owners, for caring.
The minutes of last year's annual meeting were available for pickup. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? We are on item number 4. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes from last year.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor of
Who was the
approving?
second?
Rick.
Actually, we should probably get a different second from the member, so.
Second.
Do you have your name, sir?
John Brown.
We do by voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Status report on 3 properties. W1341 Beach Road, which is a hotel property. Last I checked, the property is for sale at $4.5 million. There's nothing further to report. West Rock property at Stringer's Bridge. The district filed an action against the county against the grant of a conditional use to operate a marina in an environmentally sensitive area in violation of Walworth County law. There will be more to come on this issue when the court sets a briefing schedule. County action on residential property, highway residential property on Highway J Dam, where there was some excavation done earlier this year. My understanding, and Rick can correct me, is that is tabled until the September
15th meeting at 3:30 PM, Public Works.
September 15th, 3:30, Public Works. With that, can we go to item number 8, Commissioner Donovan?
As far as an update on harvesting, the harvest season is going to end September 22nd or 23rd. The buoys will be removed by September 30th. I submitted a water surface grant, which we hope to get up to $10,000, which can be applied toward our aquatic invasive plant study that'll be next summer, which will allow us to renew our harvest permit next winter. As far as the buoys, I already mentioned, that rollout will be next year. If you have a private buoy, with the fact that we are going to, in essence, have the lake blanketed, if you decide you do not want to deploy your buoy and you want to donate it, we'd be happy to take it for spares. You could contact me if you want, or at the end of the meeting. If you elect to keep your buoy, you will need to apply with the DNR for a buoy permit in order to place it, or they potentially could remove it. So you're gonna see a total of 93 buoys. The overall harvest for the year, due to probably the heat and rain, is up over prior years. And I guess the other last point is we should thank Stu and Doug. They maintain the equipment on their own. They save us a lot of money. No major breakdowns or failures, so kudos to them for helping save some cash. That's it.
Can we ask a question?
Yes.
When you do your education, can you please address driving behind those buoys within those, that footage, the slow no wait?
That will be a special point of emphasis. One of the most important issue that we have dealt with from riparian owners from a safety standpoint is we've got boaters coming too close to shore at too high speeds.
That I get, but what boats are doing, pontoon boats, are driving between the buoys and the docks and the swimming rafts, and are coming within feet of what you're trying to protect, which is bodies.
But they can.
They can,
That's the law.
That's the law.
If they're at slow no
if they're
wait.
at slow no wait mode.
But if you can at least ask people to be more aware or something.
Well, we are
Okay.
going to have a list, we used to have a list, a code of conduct that went out on Beulah, and we are in the process of updating that list, and it will have items like you're bringing up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Becker, status report on lake monitoring, water testing, lake level, and well number 7 pump. Wood?
Okay, the management district continues to monitor the environment and the health of the lake. To that extent, we are working very closely with USGS, that's United States Geological Survey, to sample the water. And we analyze it for a good number of elements, good number of things, and that will continue. The bottom line is, right now, the lake is very healthy. It's been healthy, it remains that way, we don't see a change. So it's important to keep on doing what we're doing. At the same time, we are concerned about other things that crop up in the lake, and we have to address those. This winter, it came to our attention, mainly through social media, that there could be a salt problem. That is, salt from the highway finding its way into the lake and causing problems. So what we did, we took samples of the lake and for chlorine, basically, close to where the dock site is, and I think we'll call the lodge right in that area. I believe there was a ATV that went into the lake and crashed through the ice in that location. Some people thought it was because the water is diluted with salt and it melted it. But so we sampled that. We also sampled down by Pastime Lane to get a calibration on that. The sample by Pastime Lane was like 12 milligrams per liter. That equates to our average of about 11 throughout time, so barely no change there. By the dockside, we got up to 14 milligrams per liter. The state requirement is probably 250, around the 250 area. There could be some detrimental effects at 110 to 120. So we're talking about 11, 13, 14. Very, very low. So the net effect is, or the net bottom line is, this was not a problem, and we could be proud of that and go forward on that. We are also working on other activities on the lake. We checked for blue-green algae and developed the instrumentation and the like so that we can monitor it and address it if it does occur. We didn't see it this year, but we want to be prepared for it and be able to pounce on it right away. So we'll keep that going. I think a lot of credit goes to the town and to the Department of Public Works for their activity on cutting back on salt, going to brine rather than rocks and regular salt. All this has helped out. I think they'll continue to do that, so that's worked out very well. And we've been working with them on that, so we're very pleased with that. That's it.
One thing I could add, we have 20 years of data, basically 20 years of data on our water quality on USGS that's now been put into charts with some explanation that I may or may not have stolen from the University of Wisconsin in Madison or maybe UWSP. So if you have questions about what our water quality looks like, take a look at our website.
Question?
Yeah.
After hearing from Terra Vigilance regarding the sediment bottom, would there be any consideration in testing the bottom for phosphorus or whatever is appropriate?
Well, we test for phosphorus, certainly, that's part of the measurement, but as far as being specific about the effect of a wakeboard boat going disturbing things, we have not done that.
Yeah, I think what he's referring to is the recommendation was to take core samples
Yeah.
to identify what's actually on the bottom of our lake. Could we do that and incorporate that into?
We have not done that, but it's a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Stotts.
Has there been any water testing or sampling where the culvert is coming out by the Lindy's property? Because that covers about 3.5 blocks. And I believe there's 4 open catch basins and 2 closed catch basins. And all that stuff that's salt, that's and grime and whatever gets spread onto the road just through keeping the roads clean. Have they tested right where the outlet is, where the sewer is? Now, I tried doing open records requests to the DNR in the town, and there doesn't seem to be a permit on file for that sewer that dumps into the lake there. But that would be a good spot to test if you're gonna do some testing.
The most recent test, I think our tester almost went for a very, very cold swim. He was so close to that spot.
I was with him, and the outlet you were talking about when Todd Shield went to look at it was froze solid, so the salt wasn't coming out of there. That spot that was there was from the direction of the wind, and the four-wheeler had dumped in there. But I was there when he tested, and that's where they got the 14. But as far as the outlet, like Todd said, that was froze solid. So if there was salt coming out of there, or if that was the issue, that wouldn't freeze. So I don't think that's the issue. I don't think the salt's the issue whatsoever.
Well, we sampled where the ATV went under.
But that was a little bit further to the south, more towards by dockside.
That's what we did.
But if you would've went like a half a block over, it would be nice to see if there is anything that's discharging off the road that's coming down through that culvert. Cause I think it's a 20 or 24 inch culvert that's just unregulated, just coming right in. So whatever's on that 3-block stretch, it's going right into the lake.
Is
Be
that
nice to
south
monitor
of the main culvert, the bridge, or is it north of the bridge, the culvert?
It's north of the bridge. It's basically where the stop sign is on the corners of
that's
East
where
Shore
we
Road and
tested.
Beach Road.
Yeah,
But
what about the summertime?
we'll listen
What
after the
about the
meeting.
summertime?
We'll address it.
Excuse me,
It's definitely
what about the summertime? All the things that are coming from people's lawns, falling into the road, going through that culvert that doesn't have a permit, that the lake management put in, And also, it can be summer or winter.
The town put it
Or
in.
the town, I'm sorry, the town put it in. So, I mean, it's not just winter, it's monitoring what's coming in from that culvert during the summertime with all the stuff that goes on people's lawns and whatever else.
Garbage
that
trucks.
falls- Right. So, you know, there's more than just a winter concern.
Yep. All right, if there's nothing else on item 8, status report on Canada geese mitigation. I think it was a successful program this year, but I'm aware a number of people have contacted me that they still have a goose problem. In order to be successful, we had a couple of fantastic volunteers, at least a couple of them are sitting here today, so thank you to them. I say who they are. Thank you, Mary.
I think it would be helpful. I think, we might have, like, tried to have people write a note that said that it would be okay to take the geese. I think people need to know a little bit more about what the geese are doing, because one house in particular, we could have had like 30 geese, and they didn't want us to take them, because
The geese
they
aren't
like to
hurting the
watch
thing.
them.
They're not
So,
hurting the thing.
maybe a little bit of education if we're gonna do it again.
They've been here a lot longer than we have.
We can only have one person talking at a time.
I think we will put out more information this time. The district picked this up from Protect Lake Beulah, picked it up a little bit late, and there needs to be more communication about what goose mitigation is there for, and what it's there for, why we do it, what impact it can potentially have on our water quality. And also, if we're going to do it, we need to have a few more people. 5 people is not enough. We had 2 boats, that may have been enough, but you can't see where the geese are if you're on Long Lake and you're trying to monitor the geese on Big Lake. It's just impossible, so we need to have a few more eyes if we're gonna do it again. But still, thank you very much. That's all I have on goose mitigation. So we've talked a little bit about our maps that have put forward, and part of some of the proposed maps were just put in the packet. They're for discussion purposes only, and they're meant to give you a picture of what the lake might look like at 500 feet from shore and 20 feet. It's also meant to give you a picture of where the buoys are gonna be posted. So those buoys are just 200 feet from shore. And that is really more of a safety issue with our swimmers and our paddlers and things like that. That's not going to be enough standoff distance for surfing activities. So those are just in there. There's no action item here. This is something that needs to be an ongoing community discussion. And that's why I was really happy to, the DRB had a nice presentation today. PLB had a nice presentation. This is a discussion that needs to keep going. That's all I have on that issue. I think we're up to our auditor. Is that correct? That's all you want.
Number 11.
Yeah, 11.
Law enforcement.
What did I skip?
Yes.
We can go into the law enforcement issue. The law enforcement issue is, law enforcement has been absent for most of the summer. What we have seen has not been there at the right time. We saw a situation where we had the tie-up, and we had a boat come out after the storms had come through, and everyone was off the lake. On the 4th of July weekend, we had almost no police presence. This past weekend, we had almost no police presence on the lake. When you have no police presence, we end up with a situation where we have boats that are zigzagging in and out of buoys. We have a situation that is dangerous for swimmers, that is dangerous for paddlers. We have essentially an unrestricted lake. That is a significant problem, and this group, our riparian owners, pay a heck of a lot of tax money towards public service. The town of East Troy is currently responsible for law enforcement and says it has a budget. And that budget includes about 300, or I think it's 300 hours for law enforcement on our lake. What we want to see is an expanded presence on this lake that is at times when it is needed, whether that's a full-time police officer that is hired for the summer, that is on the lake Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when the lake is busy. We probably don't need an officer on the lake on Monday, but we need a police presence on this lake. When we have a parking lot with 28 boats that can come into that parking lot, these are off-lake folks that don't necessarily know the rules of our lake. When we have, I don't know how many boats we even have on our lake, things get a little crazy out there, and the police presence has been lacking in the extreme. That needs to change, and if this district can do more, it hasn't been expressed to us that budget is the problem, it's getting commitment to show up and to take those weekend shifts and to be present on our lake. That needs to happen. To the extent this district can put money towards that, I think that is a good thing. To the extent that this district has to purchase another boat to get someone out there, I think that is something we have to look at. But bottom line, we need police presence on our lake to control some of the issues that we're having.